going to teach analog and digital communication introduction. This is NR Educational Tutorials YouTube channel. Please like, subscribe, comment and encourage us. Let's continue with the topic. Today's topic is Introduction to Analog and Digital Communications. The subject name is Analog and Digital Communications. Before going to the subject, one should understand what is meant by signal. So nowadays we are communicating with each and every person, that data is received by the receiving party. So anything which carries information, we call that as a signal. So mathematically the signal can be represented as one or more variables. Okay, one variable with one independent variable as a function of one independent variable. If we represent that as a signal, then that signal we call that as one-dimensional signal. So signal is any physical quantity, means we can represent that in a mathematical form. Any physical quantity which conveys information. Information is nothing but a message signal. That message signal may be, for example, if you take ECG, electrocardiogram. Electrocardiogram signal gives the information about heartbeat, heart rate. So likewise, any physical quantity which conveys information as a function of one or more variables is known as signal. Simple example is x of t. X is a signal which is varying as a function of t, where t is the time in seconds. Okay, this is what the simple definition of a signal. Example for signals are ECG, electrocardiogram for information about heartbeat, EEG electroangiogram, X-ray signals, traffic lights. Traffic lights gives the information to the vehicles on the road whether to stop or start, or ready to start or ready to stop. So 3 red, green, yellow lights indicates that information. And encoded data rate. For example, if we take computer message transferring through the computer, it takes part in the form of zeros and ones, encoded number of zeros and ones. So 0, 1, 1, 0. It is a 6 in decimal. So these are all the examples of signal. Signal is the one which is a physical quantity, conveys information. Anything which conveys information is known as signal, and it is represented mathematically as a function of one or more variables. Okay? There are basically 3 types of signals: continuous time signal, discrete time signal and digital signal. Where continuous time signal is the signal which is existing for each and every instant of time, means 0.0, 0.0001, 0.0001 also the signal is existing, means at each and every instant of time the signal is available. So this is AM, this is minus AM, and this is what the time period of this sinusoidal signal. This is positive half cycle and this is negative half cycle. Okay, this is what the continuous signal, and its other name is analog signal. So each and every instant of time, if the signal is present, we call that as continuous time signal. Example for that is any living thing heartbeat. Heartbeat of living things is an example for continuous or analog signal. And next here comes the discrete time signal. See, we need not to have infinite number of points to reconstruct back our original signal at the receiver. So again, we have digital signal, not only the analog. So what we want is, we want digital signal. You cannot go directly from analog to digital signal. So hence, what is the intermediate process is, we have to sample this. Sample this means just put a switch, transmit x of t, and you are going to receive the signal x of n. when it is multiplied with the impulse train. This impulse train is called det of t minus n ts. When the signal is present on, the switch gets closed. When there is a off duration, the switch gets opened. With this operation, we are going to get a sampled version of message signal. So that is, we represent it as x of n, 0. This is samples. These are the sample signal. This is discrete time signal. Discrete time signal is also called as sampled signal. Example for discrete time signal is population survey, where it is carried for every 5 years and it is going to take number of people in each house, and also it is going to take the previous data in order to do the analysis of the present data and future data. Okay, so this is done on sampled basis. Okay, so population survey or census survey comes under discrete time signal. And coming to the digital signal, one can observe here the amplitudes of discrete signal we got. I think you can understand 0.3, 0.5, 0.7, 1, 1.5, 1.7, etc. So here comes the amplitude values of discrete time signal. So but we want the digital signal, where the digital signal is a form of zeros and ones only. Zeros and ones. So to get the zeros and ones, we are going to use the process called quantization, where in this quantization the numbers or the values of amplitude which are less than 0.5 marked as 0, and the values of amplitude which are greater than 0.5 marked as 1. Now each and every value is converted into 0 and 1. Also there is a problem with this. What is that? 0.3 is less than 0.5, so 0.3 is the new value and 0 is 0.3 is the original value and 0 is the new value. So if you take, what is the difference? 0.3. Now here 1.5 is a greater than 0.5. So 1.5 is the original value and new value is 1. So what we are going to get, 0.5 is the difference. Okay. So original minus the actual new value, original minus the new value. So like this we may also have errors when we are using the quantization process for getting digital signal. Briefly about what is a signal and the basic classification like continuous, discrete and digital signal. Hope you all understand what is meant by signal, because communication is a process where we are going to pass the information. So the signal is a basic step to understand for this. Okay. Then next comes the communication. Communication carries on in one of the two ways, verbally or non-verbally. Okay, so nowadays we all know how the communication process is going on. Data is transmitted between the parties. So that is, best example is newspaper, and we all know all the social media apps like WhatsApp, Facebook, Twitter and all the other Instagram, all the social media apps. Other than that, we also have TV and through the radio. TV is about through the video where they are going to deliver the information. Whereas the radio, it is just information is passing. There is no one party seeing with the other party. Okay, radar is also one of the communication process. It is going to give the information through the radar waves. Simple communication process. Simple communication process is between two parties. Live communication between one-to-one live communication, that is point-to-point communication, or offline communication like telephone conversation. Telephone conversation. So telephone conversation takes place between two parties. Maybe nowadays technology is increased to conference call, like that we can have, so in that one or more parties can attend in this. So for example, I am taking only two parties of telephone conversation. So one is called the sender, another one is called the receiver. Okay, transmitter and receiver. So if we use the full duplex communication, these two parties may exchange like a transmitter and this comes the receiver. Anyhow, the process of communication between two parts is point to point communication. So transmitter to receiver. In between media is called as channel. This channel type may be wired or wireless. We'll go deeper into this in the later sessions. Okay, pardon me. Just understand we are transmitting from transmitter to the receiver through the media called channel. We'll go deeper into this in a later sessions. Okay. So point to point communication takes place between two persons, two parties. Then next, if one is a transmitter and other side you have many receivers. At the time you are transmitting to many persons or things. So then one to many is called as broadcasting. So this is the basic way of communicating point to point or one to many. Okay, so this is called broadcasting. Example for point to point, we all know telephone conversation, whereas for the broadcasting, radio or the way TV gives the information. Okay. So if the communication process takes in with the nature of analog signal, we call that as analog communication. Here AC, it is not alternating current, it is not another way, it is analog communications. Okay, signal is of nature analog, then analog communications. If the signal communication through the type digital, we call that as digital communication. Okay, so here in order to understand this subject, one should understand what are the prerequisites to understand this subject. One is electromagnetic spectrum, where electromagnetic spectrum is the one which is going to give the values of frequency range and their application area. Okay, so electromagnetic spectrum ranges from very low frequencies to ultra high frequency range. Okay, so voice signal, if you see, voice signal range in the form of kilohertz, where hertz is the unit of frequency. So 300 to 3.5 kilohertz, 300 to 3.5 kilohertz. So the example for this is human speech generated through vocal cords of the human being. Okay, so very low frequency signal. And then audio signal. Audio signal is another sound signal which is having the frequency range from 20 to 20 kilohertz. It is slightly higher than this human speech signal. Whereas this audio signal example is the horn sound generated from vehicles, okay, or else the musical instruments sound. The next, video. Video is nothing but it is a running images. Okay, so running of images looks like a video, and the frequency range of this video is 0 to 4.5 megahertz. Example for this is TV signal. So these are the variety ways of signals available in the communication system. Okay, we all know now what is a signal, and we all know how the simple communication process is going on between transmitter and receiver. Okay, now if a person want to travel from the starting point to the destination which is far apart 30 kilometers, so probably the person may go on bike. Okay, if it ranges, the distance between the destination and the source ranges in the form of hundreds of kilometers, then the party has to take either high vehicles like car. Okay, so if we have to travel from source to destination in thousands of miles, so we cannot go on a bus or any other high vehicle other than the airway. Okay, through the air we have to travel. So here what happens, the person is same, but the way of their traveling, that carrier is changing. That carrier is decided by the distance between the destination. So likewise, we want our low frequency, basic signal is always low frequency. That low frequency signal has to be transferred to the destination point. If the distance is more, then we should have some concept which is going to make us to transfer information to the destination point. The only way we can use to transfer information to long distance communication is through modulation. So in this modulation concept, I told you already, we are going to utilize a concept called carrier, so which is going to carry the low frequency signal. Modulation is simply the process of changing the characteristics, very important key point, characteristics of carrier signal, in accordance with the instantaneous value of the message signal. Once again, modulation is the process of changing the characteristics of carrier signal in accordance with the instantaneous value of the message signal. Instantaneous, why I am telling is according to the time the waveform changes. Okay? Whereas the information is present in only message signal, carrier is just a carrier, no information. It is just a high frequency signal. Okay? Whereas we have to understand what are the characteristics of a signal. We all know characteristics of a signal. If you take, so if this is a carrier signal, let me draw it simply. As the time decreases, frequency increases. Frequency increases, time decreases. So let me take this as a carrier signal. Coming to the characteristics of the carrier signal, this is called amplitude. Characteristics are amplitude, phase, this is time. In turn it gives you t is equal to 1 by f, f is equal to 1 by t. So the main characteristics now we decided are amplitude, time and frequency. If amplitude of the carrier is varied, in accordance with the message signal. Let me take this as a message signal. According to this, the amplitude of the carrier is varied. We call that as amplitude modulation. Okay. If the frequency or phase of the carrier is varied in accordance with the message signal, we call that as angle modulation. Where in angle modulation we have frequency variation as well as phase variation. If carrier signal phase is varied in accordance with the message signal, phase modulation. If frequency of carrier is varied in accordance with the message signal, frequency modulation. These are the types of modulation. Why we need to go for the modulation? Very important to learn what is the need for modulation. So need for modulation, here it is. I think we all can recollect. We saw one mobile, good olden days mobile. It is going to have antenna which you can pull down or pull up. With this, the height of the antenna increases. According to this, the signal strength varies. Okay, so in nowadays integrated technology is improving, so this antenna is mounted internally. Okay, so height of the antenna plays a major role for reception of quality of service. Okay, so to reduce the antenna height, we need modulation. What is meant by reduce of antenna height? So antenna height is directly proportional to wavelength. Okay, for very good communication process, minimum wavelength required is lambda by 10, where lambda is c by f. C is the velocity of light, f is the frequency. If I take here low frequency, see, antenna height is inversely proportional to frequency. If frequency is less, height of the antenna is more. If frequency is high, height of the antenna is less. Now for message signal, antenna height is more. If we use the modulation technique, the antenna height is reducing. So this is how the need for modulation to reduce the antenna height. And this message signal is of low frequency, carrier signal is of high frequency. These are two different types of signals where one have information, another does not. So these two has to be transmitted. For transmitting a signal, each requires one channel. So for each signal, if you use a channel, number of channels increases. but there is a concept called multiplexing. We can combine two signals and transmit through the single channel. That concept is possible with the modulation. See, I told you, if amplitude is varied in accordance with the message signal, amplitude modulation. So here is the example. Here amplitude of the carrier is varied. Here you see this. Amplitude of the carrier is varied in accordance with the message signal, where this dashed line represents the message signal and this solid line represents the carrier signal. This is one example for multiplexing. And then the spectrum is ranging from low frequency to high frequency. Low frequency signals are very much tend to interfere with the noise. Okay? Noise is easily gets interfered with the message signal. As the frequency increases, high frequency spectrum is less prone to noise and interference. With the help of modulation, low frequency signal is transferred to high frequency range. So hence, there is a chance to reduce noise and interference. Okay, the last point of need for modulation is we need to narrow band the signals. Narrow banding of signals is achievable with the modulation. Why? Because antenna height and antenna dimension. Antenna means, example I draw here, this is antenna, this one is antenna here. So this antenna dimension and height of the antenna. Antenna dimension and height of the antenna, these are directly related to the wavelength. Okay, so narrow banding is a process where ratio of a high frequency to the low frequency. Without modulation, it is not equal to 1. With modulation, wideband to narrow band signal is possible, and single antenna is sufficient to transfer the data. This is how, these are the 4 advantages this modulation, main 4 advantages this modulation is providing. Okay, so this is what the today's session, where it started at the signal, basic types, examples, process of conversion, and then to the communication, its examples, and then 2 basic types of communication, and then we travel towards the frequency range utilized for 3 applications, and then we saw what is meant by modulation, types of modulation definitions, and then need for modulation. So I hope everyone can learn the outcome of this class as understand the type of communication and need for modulation. Thank you all. Please keep watching.